Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play CCLP1. We are 1/3 of the way through the set, numerically speaking that is. I don't think effort-wise we're 1/3 of the way yet. But we are on level 51, H2O Below 273k. Let's get started. This is the ice level that you normally see at level 51. Let me turn the volume up just a bit. There we go. I feel like it's a little louder even though my volume seems to be around the same amount. So this is the level that the ice level for the set at level 51, and this is a pretty obvious choice just because it did fairly well in voting. That's one of the things that I haven't really talked about yet is how we selected the levels. I kind of alluded to it earlier, but one of the things that we tried to do is we tried to make sure that there was a lot of different types of gameplay represented. And why did I go there? That was silly of me. Particularly if the gameplay was either taught in the original set, or maybe it wasn't taught in the original set, but it was deserving of being taught in a set like this. So we tried to make sure we included all kinds of gameplay elements that were featured in levels, as well as different types of gameplay, different types of design styles. Although we tried to make sure the quality of the design was at least consistent, so there's a little subjectivity there, but I think for the most part it ended up okay. I will say the one shortcoming that I wish we had caught a little bit more of, and this is something that I think it's a little easier to see in hindsight now that we've actually played through the set many more times, is the fact that there's so many item swappers in the set. I mean, there's a lot. Or at the very least, levels with item swapping elements. Maybe I should clarify that. And it's kind of hard to really mitigate that, you know, when you're putting these sets together, because there's a lot of levels where the focus is something completely different than item swapping, but there is item swapping, you know. Alright, we got 236. The Bone. Oh yeah, that was by Archie Pusaka. So the bone looks like a bone, I guess. And I'm already forgetting how to do this. I think we do... Is that right? I think that's right. There we go. Not too hard. No, let's do this. There's a ball bouncing there, so we need to be very careful when we open that door up. There we go. We're going blind. Okay, good. Alright, so we just need to use these blocks wisely here, which shouldn't be too hard. So this is a nice little Sokoban training level. I appreciate it when levels don't use the very obvious Sokoban elements like trap buttons and whatnot. That was by Rock Genereux. Alright, start at the end. Alright, this looks interesting. This is actually a level I made. I haven't played it in a while, though. But it was meant originally to be sort of the review level for my own set, although it ended up being pretty difficult. There's an invisible wall there that I didn't reveal. Alright, let's go here, get all these chips from the fireballs. Now what's interesting about this level is that there's actually another way to do it. And it involves using these blocks to go into this room instead of using them in this room. So we get these skates here, which normally if you were to use the alternate solution, you wouldn't get these. But instead, you would have one block get used here, another one get pushed up over here, and ultimately used to get those suction boots. But in the normal solution, you wouldn't get the suction boots. In fact, the hint here says, sometimes levels contain unneeded extra boots. This would normally be read just to allay any fears about not being able to use those boots. But you would use those boots to actually get to the end a little earlier, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, I think what you would do is you would go all the way back to the start, and then you would take that force slide through there, and then go over here into this area with the red key already in tow. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do things the normal way here. Yes, I think you would... No, the bug doesn't do anything. Alright, so what do we have here? We got a little item swapper action here. Okay, so we can't really do anything here yet. So we need to go down here to this part first. So in the alternate solution, I don't believe you would actually have to worry about coming down here. So I think I'm going to show that, just because I keep talking about that, and I want to actually show what that looks like. Let me turn that down just a bit. There we go. I think that's a little too loud. Okay, so this block doesn't actually get used for anything. And we get a little teeth dodging here at the end. And then we go to the exit. Alright, so that's the normal solution. Go back here. The alternate solution starts the same. But once we get to that room that we just passed by there, things are going to change quite a bit. So there's the invisible wall, which we totally hit, but then we died. Let's get back there real quick. Okay. Oh, what? Okay. So we're going to go back through that force slide there, so remember that. And we're actually, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to leave the fire boots for later. Or wait, no, we can't do that. No, we do need the fire boots. Never mind. Now, for this solution, we actually won't need all the chips, so I don't actually need to be getting these. Alright, so let's go this way. There we go. So we blew those up. And then we go over here, like this. Let's get that out of the way. Alright, so now we've got the suction boots at this point. And we could go through there, but that's not going to do any good, so I'm going to go back this way. And I'm going to go up here instead. So this will allow us to get this key early. Oh, and I need a... Oops. I got a little ahead of myself, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so I need to get the flippers from that item swapping room first. Which thankfully you can do fairly early on. But essentially you would need the flippers to backtrack through that room. And then I think... I forget what the last part of it was. For those who are wondering, no, this solution actually is not faster than the normal solution, despite not needing to get the chips. Okay, let me blow these up first. Then we'll go back and get this, and then we should be A-okay. Alright. Good. Alright, that's excellent. Alright, so now we can do this. Let's do this first. I guess I could just blow that up with the block, but... Alright, so we do this, and we get the flippers here. I can't remember if we get this, but I'm going to go and get it. Yeah, I think we do, because we're going to lose these boots up here at this area here. That thief right there. So, we backtrack through here. I don't know why I got that. And so now it's just a matter of coming back with the red key. And, can't remember if you need suction boots. I should have been paying more attention there. Do you? You might not actually need... What?! Okay, you do need the suction boots. So I guess you do need to go through that force maze. Alright, I'm not going to show the rest of this. You guys can kind of put the pieces together for yourself. Alright, so moving on to Mini Pyramid, level 54. This is another level I made. And the concept here you can see is pretty simple. You just push the blocks into wherever you can push them in order to get chips under the blocks, as well as other items. And this level actually did not do well in the voting, but it was unique enough that we decided to include it anyway. There wasn't really anything else that was quite like this. I mean, I guess you could say Trafalgar Square is kind of like this, and there's one level later on that involves getting ships under blocks, but we didn't really have many levels that had a block aesthetic to them. And both of these, I believe, have exits, yeah. So there we go. And optimizing this level, by the way, is quite interesting. I will say that. Alright, so moving on to the Chambers, level 55. This is essentially an item swapper, but it's an item swapper with some open rooms and dodging, which wasn't really something that we had in the set. This is another level that didn't do terribly well, but I will say one of the things that really inspired me to include this was the fact that it had a design that was very different than a lot of the other levels that did really well, which tended to be a little more compact. This one is a lot more open, and I felt like we didn't have a lot of that after like the first part of the set. And for that reason, I really was, and we also had a few voters who were a little pickier who enjoyed this level a lot and rated it very highly. And for that reason, I decided that it was worthy of inclusion, and a few other staff members agreed and seconded the motion. So, definitely a fun level. And I think the other thing, too, the other box that it checked off was the gliders. It's interesting because there aren't really a lot of levels that we had that were very glider-focused. There were a few, but not as much as fireballs. So that helped this level actually do better when it was compared to other levels with gliders as the focus. So let's go and do all that. Oops, this way. Don't get killed by that. Go and grab this. Okay, I think this is a dead end, yes. Alright. Good, good, good. Grab this. Grab that. And we should be on our way toward the end. In fact, we might get the bold time here because there's a bit of an equalizer here. Yes. Alright, so that was by Daniel Bowmeister. Very nice level, I like it. Connect the chips. So what's interesting about this level is that it's actually, the image of this level is the burning chip tile from MSCC. In fact, you can see his face right here. Those are his eyes, and below me is his mouth. So that's kind of cool. I feel like this is a problem. Let's do this. Can I? No, I can't. Okay. Restart. Now, fun fact about this, if I remember correctly, the original version of this level was not actually a burning chip tile. It was just a bunch of recessed walls. Whereas this version of it has a little bit more artistic bent to it. And it's got a little bit more of a tight structure, too. So as you can see by the mistake we made there, that actually forces you to reconsider how exactly you're going to be going through all these chips and mapping out your route. Which is a nice skill for beginners to develop. There we go. And that's it. That was by Andrew Menzies. Key farming. Use the keys wisely. Alright, this is a level that I really like. I think it's very well built. It's also, I think, one of the best uses of invisible walls in a CC level, in an official set at least. I think personally invisible walls are either overused or underused, where either you make them into a maze that's just very irritating to get through, or oh, well, let's come back there with suction boots, or people are just too afraid to use them. Whereas this level, I feel like avoids that by using them in ways that are very clever and actually force you to reconsider what you know about the level. Like that right there, you know, that's a really neat way to use invisible walls. This right here, I think that was one of the places where there was invisible stuff. Oh no, there wasn't. Okay, it was that one. Okay, so that should be enough to get here, which gives us the skates. So now we can get even more keys from this area. That's 3. We can't get the one there behind the force floor. We can get that. I believe there's one more over... Yeah, over here. Alright, so that should just leave the stuff over there by the... Wait a minute. We only got 5, didn't we? Oh, wait. I see. We're supposed to do this first. That's right. Alright, so let's go back to the thing here in the middle. There we go. It's also a very interesting way to construct the maze, essentially, where you have to reform everything in your head. Another great level by Archie. Definitely a good one. Corral. All the blocks in the level have gravel under them. So this is a good example of a level like the one I was talking about earlier when we started the video, where item swapping is kind of the structure of the level, but the main attraction here is dodging and blocking blobs. I will say I think this level is a little too open when it comes to that, but in some ways that's what made it a good fit for the set, in my opinion. There wasn't really a lot of rigidity with respect to how you were supposed to corral the blobs. Because the idea is that you really are supposed to push the blobs into the corners here, particularly in rooms like this. Like, this is a better example of how to do that. So, like, you can do something like this, and then you can safely go across, and if you're really feeling some urge to get them into a tight corner, you can do that. Alright, so let's do this side. Yeah, this was a tough one to optimize, I will say, just because even though it is open, there are sections like this where things are a little more confined in nature. Alright, so now we just need to go and get the stuff here at the bottom. One door here. Lots of chips. One thing I like in levels is when chips are used to communicate rewards. Like, if you're able to get through all these blobs, here's a bunch of chips. Like, I like that. It's a nice element of... okay, this is kind of a little scary. There we go. I didn't know whether or not I should push one straight left, because I didn't remember whether or not I put one there. That would have blocked our path. Let's go around. Like, this part here toward the end, like, this is one of those things that's tougher if you're optimizing. But thankfully we're not, so that's helpful. Alright. Andrew Menzies, you are an awesome designer. Just going to say that. Asterisk. Alright, so this is an interesting puzzle level where you're forced to consider how you pick boots up. So like that right there is a cook. But this I can get because I can come back through this room later, so that's not as bad. This I can get right now, but I don't yet have the flippers, so it's probably not a good idea to go that way. Let's see, this one, no. Let's go and get this first. There's another ice area here. There's the flippers right there. Okay. Thankfully we've got this now, but we don't have suction boots, so unfortunately we have cooked the level. Alright, so we need to get flippers before we get the suction boots. We need to get fire boots before flippers, so I think we need to do it like that. And then we need to go over here, get these, then get these, like this. Alright, so that should be good enough, I think. Let's do this here. Alright. think we got this. I think we got it. Very nicely designed level. I really like the way this is laid out. Okay, and the last one should be right there. There we go. That was by Jacques Smith, who some of you might remember as the designer of Blue Blocks from CCLP3. Guard. Okay, there's a guard of teeth I see over there. And I see we're going to need to dodge some balls in order to get this. Okay, it looks like either this is inaccessible. Looks like these are inaccessible. So I have to push that there, so that's forced. Okay, let's get all of these. Okay, so we have to go through both teleports to get the remaining chips. Okay, so that's easy enough. Alright, so now we got everything. So at this point, okay, there is a pathway through there on both sides. So let's go through there, and now the teeth are going to come out. So we need to make sure that they're there so we can get out of the level. Alright, not bad. That was by Jonathan Birchall. Alright, and I think I'm going to go ahead and stop the video there for now. Next time we will continue on with highways. So until then, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you on the flip side.